All right. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Mehan, who is here at Hillsdale and has been so gracious to host us, kick us off and start off the day. So thank you all so much. And Matt, come on up. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Matthew Mehan. I'm the Director of Academic Programs here at Hillsdale in DC. And I'm also a professor of government here in our new master's degree. The DC campus of Hillsdale actually is this building and a number of other buildings scattered around Capitol Hill. And in fact, we're doubling the size of the place hopefully this spring. We'll be breaking ground and taking over the whole block up to the deli. It's the only institution of higher ed here on Capitol Hill with a class presence in a master's degree program and an undergrad degree program. We also have something called the James Madison Fellowship, which maybe some of you might be interested in. In fact, I see at least one fellow in the audience. It's for basically young professionals in the middle of their career who are interested in getting together for closed door conferences, guided by founding and great books texts, but a very presentist argument, which is something you're doing here today, thinking about what to do next. And that's done 10 times a year in closed-door salons up in our library up here. Our grad school has about 50 grad students. It was started 3 years ago. We graduated our first 3 graduates this last spring. We're probably going to graduate another 7 to 10, and it should grow to about 80. We have everyone from chiefs of staff on Capitol Hill to legislative directors, think tank, coordinators, you name it. So those are just things that are here happening for Hillsdale's DC campus. But we welcome you. And I just want to say one thing before I bring up Arthur, which is it's very good to have a very serious conversation about this moment. There's a temptation to nostalgia, right, where we could hope to have something like harvesting crops as opposed to ballots, or the word trans was something about a beautiful muscle car and not what it means today. But we don't want to give in to nostalgia nor despair, and that's something that I can safely say the Claremont Institute always avoids. And so without further ado, I want to introduce Arthur Milikh. I don't know where you are, Arthur, but maybe I'll play for more time and say one more thing. As one great statesman said, don't give up the ship, even in a storm. And so I think that's what we're doing today. Arthur, please come on up.
Thank you, Matt. Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to see you this morning. I'm Arthur Milikh, the Executive Director of the Claremont Institute Center for the American Way of Life here in DC. Remember how last week we thought we'd rule this town? And remember how quickly those hopes deflated? It's a hard come down. I see and hear a lot of dejection, but it's not totally warranted, I think. The Republican Party controls the House, and if the right is focused, there are plenty of things that can be done or at least begun. Now, to understand where we should go, let me briefly characterize how we should think about our current situation. Here's the bottom line. You're encircled, and the only way out is through. Every single national level institution not only opposes you, but more and more often wants to harm you. And they don't even hide it anymore. Much of the left is no longer involved in the politics of give and take. That era is over, at least for now. They know that we're in a cold civil war. And it's only parts of the right that don't see it, or they pretend not to see it. Look around for a moment at this vast array, this constellation of powers that is opposed to the right. Real powers, not fake rhetorical powers. It's not just the press, about which conservatives have been complaining for a generation. It's not just the universities, another favorite easy complaint about which we don't do anything serious, ever. Now it's the Fortune 500s, which the right for a generation thought they owned, which send billions of dollars every year to radical left-wing causes, to debank you, to fire you, and to let you know that your way of life is not acceptable to them. It's the federal apparatus, the administrative state, which can undermine or stop nearly any kind of presidential action or congressional reform, no matter how much you vote and scream. It's the intel state, which can persecute parents at school board meetings, run psyops on the American public, interfere in elections, arrest political enemies, and God knows what else they do. We really actually don't know. It's the vast, well-funded, and sometimes federally funded activist class, which can send mobs to your house and burn down your cities. It's big tech, which can delete you from the public square and control what's thinkable. And often, as you already know, these institutions work together to get their way. What exactly does the right have to counter all of this? Well, the House, it has some key states too, of course, which are very important and will be more and more important in the future, but that is a topic for another day-long conference. Given this situation, which should be unacceptable to anyone who still cares about constitutional rule and liberty, what else should the GOP see itself as but a protector of citizens and liberty against these institutions? And the House is the one branch of government we're actually capable of controlling. It's the place where the right, for now, has real power. And if used properly, Congress can restrain, harm, and defund institutions and other parts of the government which are off the reservation. This, of course, is why we are here today. As you've seen from today's agenda, the key is oversight and investigations, not pretend oversight, not pretend investigations, but playing for keeps. The right has not, as I suspect everybody in the room knows, the right has not been playing for keeps for the past generation. It has given up so many institutions and pretends like nothing's wrong. Our goal today is to propose what a real agenda would look like, given the dire circumstance. Now, I should just say quickly that putting together this conference was a joint effort and a huge effort, and I'd like to thank our co-sponsors and their tireless staff for their help. The Center for Renewing America, the Conservative Partnership Institute, the American Conservative, and of course, Hillsdale's DC campus. Take a look at the schedule. It's a little bit different from what we emailed out to you guys today. There is one lunchtime edition, which is Senator Rand Paul. We're very much looking forward to hearing from him. And now I turn it over to Sean Riley, who will moderate our first panel on the deep state and what to do about it. Thank you.